Yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly up there. I mean, it's a real good unit. We stay healthy. We continue to grow, get better. We learn from our errors. We've got guys that are playmakers. We got guys that are smart. We can make a lot of checks. We can get in a lot of different calls. We can create turnovers. So we got to stay healthy and we got to keep getting better. There'll be things that we get exposed on that we got to learn from and we got to clean up, just like offense. So I like where we're at. And believe me, man, nobody wants to play this in all three phases more than I do. And I want to find out how many different ways can we win games. Like man, let's get good at winning. And I don't care what it looks like. I really don't. As long as we believe we're playing clean football and we're playing up the best we felt about it, kind of top to bottom. And now, that being said, there's still holes. But I bring this up all the time. Every roster has holes. And you'll never have it exactly where you totally want it. But from where we've come year after year, we've taken it another level. And that's a credit to Brad. What Brad's done in the personnel department is outstanding, man. He's just continued to elevate. I bring up the floor. We know the ceiling. Well, we don't even really know the ceiling. There's still so many of these players that are continuing to get better and better that are really good players. But by doing that, the floor has really raised. And so our baseline is pretty dang good right now.
All right, man. Dan Campbell spoke on the defensive unit and overall roster. Let's talk about it. You got Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. It's kind of cold, man. Like I woke up this morning to walk the dog. It's cold. But yeah, man, as far as what he said about the defensive unit first, if they stay healthy, we thought they had a good defensive unit last year until attrition. They couldn't take, the attrition kicked in and kicked their ass. So if they stay healthy, you know what I'm saying? He said it's definitely one of the better units that's up there. I mean, Derek Barnes have been, banging that through all training camp. He really got the ball rolling. We're talking about the talent on the defensive end publicly. He's publicly been speaking on how good the defense have been. That's who I first heard speaking about it. And Brian Branch, he was one of the first guys too. He kind of said early in the beginning of this offseason after the draft how good they were. And then you heard Derek Barnes. He really been speaking on it. And then you heard the offense, they had been dominating offense. And that's not nothing new. I mean, anybody that played football, the defense is always ahead of the offense. And I'll say this and I'll say it again. I feel like the quarterback position is the hardest position to play in sports. I don't think it's the hardest thing to do in sports. And it's harder to score. It's harder than scoring the goal. It's harder than hitting the baseball. And I feel like, outside of quarterback, only thing I feel like I couldn't do was hit a baseball. That's the only thing I feel like I couldn't do. But then again, most of the people that's around me that showed me how to hit a baseball, they didn't have the patience to show me how to hit it. But, really, I probably would have been in the major leagues, probably been a damn good one. I can catch, field, throw, all that, bro. Like, that shit came now. Nobody took the time to show me how to hit a baseball. But also, it also was, in my opinion, it was the Jordan era. All I wanted to do was hoop. It was the Jordan era. And then for me, it was also NFL. I love football. I seen football. In reality, I say this all the time. NFL football was better than basketball in the 90s. Michael Jordan just was more popular than everybody in football. But 90s football when I was growing up, that was the golden grail of football, in my opinion. But nonetheless, yeah, playing quarterback is tough. You're responsible. Think about this. There's 22 people on the field, not including referees. You're responsible for 22 people, including yourself. You got to know what the corners is doing. 2, you got to know what the safeties is doing. 2, in the base defense, you got to know what the 3 linebackers is doing. 7, you got to know what the 4 linemen doing. 11, you got to know what the 5 offensive and trust the 5 offensive linemen know what they're doing to make sure they're in the right protection. That's 5. You got to know what the tight end doing. You got to know what the 6. You got to know what the 2 receivers doing. 8. You got to know what you're doing. 9. You got to know what your fullback and your back is doing. 10, 11, just in the base offense. Like, that's crazy, bro. That's to me, that's prime shit, dude. That's it's tough, man. But the defensive unit, man, like on paper sound good, and but ultimately, when one fly drop, the rest of them start dropping. So, I think this draft was more about them, getting ready to replace DJ Reader. You know, damn, who did they draft? I can't remember. They drafted Tyleek Williams in the first round. Oh yeah, yup. Basically they seen the writing. We all seen the writing coming with Frank Ragnar. I think we were just shocked that it was now. So they, basically, also people think about it this way: Tesla leave, right? If Tesla leave, you got, Jameson Williams, you got Tesla. So it was really about replenishing the roster, to be honest, dog. So, but yeah, the defensive unit. I mean, I like the linebackers. Rodrigo eventually back. Barnes, Campbell, Barnes, Campbell, Anazzoni. The corners, I like Reader. I was on that bandwagon a little bit ahead of the curve there. I like Terrion a bit on there, and Meek. So it's really my only question, BB, Kirby. My only question is health, and then the defensive line is thin there right now. Like it or not, Roy Lopez, Tyleek Williams, Makai Wingo. Right now, they probably keep Broderick Martin right now, but right now it ain't much there in the middle of that defense. DJ Reader ain't much there. Behind, Aiden Hudson and Marcus Davenport, is the countdown to Davenport go down. He gonna go down the most either early or at the most inconvenient moment. All right. Pascal still not helped. So it's just, like it's a very top, like defensive line is already on life support. Think about your defensive line. You got two guys coming off injury, Hutch and Davenport coming off injury. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but we'll see. But we'll see. But all the overall, roster. I mean, yeah, you going into year 5, you expect for it to go the way it went. I mean, they done a great job of identifying talent. Eventually when Miles Frazier get here, the offensive line will be a little bit more together. And obviously, the only thing that Brad Holmes has improved yet is that he can draft a quarterback, and that it was something else I was gonna say. He can just, just keep a durable team and find an edge rusher. But yes, it's a good unit. I mean, they're amongst a talented, very very talented unit. We're gonna see. Come this season, they're gonna be put to the test early. Green Bay, Chicago. I think they might play Cleveland or Cleveland after that. Don't quote me. Cleveland, they got a really good defense. Flacco really can sling that thing around. Cincinnati, Minnesota, Kansas City. I mean, Philly. We're gonna learn earlier on. Tampa coming back. So, but yeah, they better have a great roster. And then obviously there's gonna be questions to be asked about the defensive coordinator, Calvin Shepard, offensive coordinator, John Morton. So I mean, yeah, they best have one good roster. And like I said before, um, like I said, man, it's gonna be interesting. So, I don't think he's just saying it to say it, but they're gonna need that roster. They're gonna need attrition. They on a prime time stage this year a lot of times, and obviously a lot of it is gonna be on the road. Every prominent game they scheduled it on the road. The only good home games on, like, as far as on paper that look like oh, I gotta see them, is Pittsburgh. That's it. Pittsburgh is the only team that's coming here that you gotta be like, you gotta think about it. They play outside the division opponents. Well, that's whatever. But they play, check this out: Baltimore, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Washington, the Commanders, and the Philadelphia Eagles. They play 5. Dallas do come here as well too, though. So Dallas, Pittsburgh, Tampa is probably the 3 best games outside of the. So all the real good games on the road. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole 9. Appreciate the love, support. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Peace.